So, Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I am really pleased to once again, but actually for the first time, be able to introduce Amber Trendell, who's the Senior Director of Strategy. Not the first time I've met her, by the way, but the first time she's been on a Meet Our Member, and introduce her to you representing Oracle Restaurants. And Oracle, as you know, is a global industry supplier partner. So, welcome, Amber.
Thank you, Rob. Pleasure to be here.
Switching gears a little bit here, you know, I hate talking about AI, but everybody brings up AI. Personally, it isn't really about the term AI. It's about what do you do with all that information and the insights. So actionable insights, I've heard it called. I call it actionable information. But, where does AI fit into the use cases and the types of products and the integration in the products? And I'm not going to assume that they're always known or in front of the operator. They're behind the scenes. But where does that fit in the strategy and in the product set?
Yeah, I mean, Oracle's kind of position and advantage here is that we are very deeply entrenched in industry applications. And we also have really kind of unprecedented scale, compute, security, access to GPUs, and have built a really strong arsenal of AI services that the industries can take advantage of and embed within their applications. So things like, certainly large language models, AI with agents, voice, vision, speech to text, all of those capabilities are services on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure that frankly can be taken advantage of from non-restaurant consumers, right? Just OCI customers in general, but also embedded within the applications with simple API interfaces. So our strategy is, again, take advantage of existing Oracle technology. And you're right, put AI in applications where it drives a positive outcome for the user or for the consumer, but not as a appendage of AI, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to know that I happen to know what OCI is.
Ah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to I'm not going to say that all of our listeners actually do and our members. However, I was going to bring this up, but you've now beat me to the punch here, that one of the things that people don't realize is how much data bandwidth computing power is actually needed. Even if you think that that is not occurring at the unit because you went off premise and you're doing it, there's an awful lot behind the scenes because there's, quite frankly, too much data and we are connecting too many things. So recently, I think it's in the last 2 to 3 months, all I hear about on the radio is the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and how you're doing cloud hosting, you're helping people to do the speed.
Yeah.
If we were talking about 5, 10 years ago when you started to go, well, maybe a little bit longer with Symphony in there where you were hosting remotely, you had your hosting centers, but
Yeah.
actually you're taking advantage of the larger Oracle there in being able to bring speed, bandwidth, and actually the computing power behind, which, by the way, if I'm hearing it on the radio, they means that they're selling that separately too, but you get
Yes.
the advantage of it being embedded. So do you want to talk about how that all fits together? Because you really need both to be able to
Yeah.
move forward, right?
You do, yeah. And so you're right. We're 100% running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure from a Symphony perspective across, all of the data centers and regions. Obviously, again, with 180 countries, you've got to have data centers across all of these key areas so that you've got low latency and high performance. So yeah, so Symphony runs on OCI, and then all of the services from an AI perspective are also all native OCI. So it is a different approach, comparatively speaking, to say some of our maybe competitors where they're running kind of, maybe they're running on a third party or what have you, and then they're also building. And frankly, I think one of the challenges is access to GPUs and frankly, the ability to scale and manage the level of compute
Right.
power that's required for a large language model. Yeah.
I get it when you talk about your competitors running, on different programs. But in reality, if we were to sit here and say, who are the big platforms that people are running on in general, that people are putting their
Yep.
applications onto,
Yep.
Oracle is actually competing against the two or three other major global people as being that backbone and platform.
That's right. Yeah,
So that actually makes you the direct connect. You're not even sitting on somebody else's platform. You are the platform.
that's right. Yeah. Yep.
And all of the pieces that are there. That also, by the way, offers you the ability to offer that to your partners if they
Yep.
want to run on it as well. So you get a seamless
Absolutely.
integrated piece, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do actually have several ISV partners that have moved to OCI. And then we also have, maybe not known to the members and maybe worth mentioning, we also have the ability to stand up a dedicated cloud instance for our reseller partners. So our reseller partners are able to kind of purchase in bulk Symphony subscription endpoints, and then they can distribute that and deploy that as frankly as fast as they can and wrap services around that. So we've really invested a lot in enabling partners across the board, not only the integration partners, but the partners that are in market helping our customers be successful. So
That's actually a very interesting point because I did a podcast a few weeks ago with somebody, and we were talking about how companies were taking back their data. And what we were talking about was individuals, which you already used the example of, that an individual wants to control what they say. They don't want that they signed a checkbox that they didn't really read the small print of their reviews and everything out. They don't own it, right?
yeah.
But what we're finding is brands also sometimes don't own their data. And so I would suppose that cloud instance, if you are a big brand, that's offered to them as well to
Mhm.
be able to control their destiny and to be able to add things on it and not, and do that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep. That's right. Yep.
So speaking of big brands and little brands, uh, you have to service all the way across the board. So people should not just think of you as the huge enterprise because everybody's got a different
Yeah.
definition of what enterprise is, right?
Yes.
But you go down to actually a single unit independent.
We do. Yeah. Yeah. And we're actually also, frankly, heavily invested in that because we do believe that the independent restaurant aspect of the industry in a lot of ways is the fabric of the community, right? And so we do see that as a really important aspect of frankly how we live, right? Like I appreciate and want local restaurants in my community, and I need to help them be successful. And so from a portfolio perspective, yes, we have different flavors basically of Symphony that take you from kind of startup to stardom, right? So, whether you're a single unit or you're thousands of units. We've got, frankly, product packaging as well as commercial offers that are right sized. Yeah.
And if somebody wants to expand, I find it amazing how you get these small startups, they have two or three units and maybe they're US based or somewhere, and all of a sudden they're in Dubai. It's
Yep.
like, okay,
Yeah.
but to do that, it's not just having the products, which they can solve today.
Yep.
But it's also having the technology to go with you. The last thing that you want to do is actually have to say, I need a different system in this region or that
That's
region.
right. Yeah.
That makes it difficult for companies to expand, even the small ones. And on top of that, it's the same thing if you're a startup and you have franchisees or you're thinking about doing it.
Yep.
You may start out by support with somebody who's in a local market where you purchased your system from. But boy, as soon as you start going in 3 or 4 geographic markets, it makes it tough.
It does, yeah. I mean, I think it's challenging to run a franchise business because, and on one hand, from a corporate perspective, you want consistency across service levels, staff onboarding, right? The UX, all those things, and then certainly reporting, right? You need to
Right.
aggregate all your reporting and all that. But you have a franchisee community that wants choice, rightfully so. So it is a bit of a dance. I mean, what we have found is
Or you have customers, end user customers, who all of a sudden get hot on something and
yes,
force you to take reservations a certain way or take a
right.
certain payment method.
Yeah.
Because that's the other problem we have is that technology is moving too fast in the consumer part of it because of retail out
Yeah.
there. It's moving too fast and hitting us, and we have to be able to react quickly.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yep. So I think, I mean, for us, we like to, where we can certainly land the entire enterprise. But again, we play nice, right? And I think long term, our goal is to have a platform that allows kind of unified commerce no matter where you want to do business and
Right.
how you want to do business. And so, yeah,
And
that's,
being a platform is probably a differentiator, by the way,
I think
because not
so.
everybody's
Yeah.
a platform. They're an application, but they're not a platform that you can build on and put other
Yeah.
applications on. Well,
Yeah.
listen, thank you so much, for, having this conversation today. I'm going to look forward to seeing you in person again soon. And I just again want to thank, Oracle Restaurants for their support of the IFBTA. So Amber Trendell, who is the Senior Director of Strategy for Oracle Restaurants and Oracle, a global industry partner member, thank you for being part of the IFBTA.
Thank you. I appreciate it.